Thank you for joining me today. We're doing a Softflex Live Design Challenge with one of my favorite companies, Green Girl Studios. I'm not sure if they'll end up joining us today because I have been on an extended vacation moving from Arizona to California. I didn't get a chance to check in with them until today, and I haven't heard back from them. So I don't know for sure that this is on Cynthia's radar for the day, but hopefully she will be joining us at some point. Hi, Heather. Hey, Priscilla. Hey, Stacy. Hello, my fellow Californian. Yep, so I'm in Sonoma. We made it. My family had a rough go of it, but we did figure it out. And just one more trip back to Arizona to pick up a few more things this weekend, and then we're all done. So we officially live in the Berkeley area, and my husband started school on Monday. So I have a couple things to show you guys as we're getting started, but I am going to jump in real fast here. This is one of my coworkers' designs, and you'll see she was wearing these today, and I swiped them off of her, and hopefully I can get in close enough that it actually will focus on them. But at any rate, you can see she used different colors of Softflex for each strand, and she liked these little ends, these little loops at the end, so instead of cutting them off, she just left them dangling. You could even add just like a single little charm or something down here at the bottom, but aren't those so happy? Like the happiest little earrings. And then since she had the earrings, she decided to make a necklace to match it as well. And so each necklace part is on a different color of Softflex using our basic Softflex connectors. Snapper ones, there we go. In between. Isn't that so fun, you guys? She looked super happy today when she came into work and had her fun rainbow designs on. But you could do this with so many different colors. Since there's like 25 different colors of Softflex, you have lots of different options. So I thought that was really fun. To introduce you to Green Girl Studios, if you're not familiar with them, I can't imagine how you wouldn't be. They're amazing. They reside in Asheville, North Carolina, I believe, and it's a small family-owned business. Cynthia Thornton and her family. And I've been using their pieces for years and years and years. In fact, one of my book designs and Show Your Colors, my first book, used a couple of her pieces in the various designs. This is one of my favorites for a number of reasons, but you can see the little fairy guy at the bottom. And then oftentimes the charms and things that they make are double-sided. So they actually say more than one thing or show more than one thing on each side, which is kind of fun because you can sort of flip it around depending on what you're into that day. This is one of my favorite designs for a whole different reason though. This design shows the 3 different sizes of crimps. So it shows a 1x1 crimp, a 2x2 crimp, and a 3x3 crimp, which is kind of helpful when you're trying to explain why you would use the different types of crimps. You know, 1x1s are so tiny, they're great for anchoring beads in place on the wire. 2x2s are fantastic for single strand connections, and then 3x3s are great if you're doing a bunch of strands and attaching to a finding. So this is a pretty great example of all of that, but also a great example of Cynthia's work from Green Girl Studios. So that design is in Show Your Colors, which is my original book that I wrote 5 years ago. But I've used their stuff for years and years and years. They have really great stuff. One other good example is from my new book, Seed Bead Revolution. This is one of the designs in the book. And you can see this beautiful little mermaid. And it's sort of like a gold tone pendant. It's really beautiful. A lot of the stuff that Cynthia does, that's in Seed Bead Revolution. A lot of the stuff Cynthia does is really magical. She does like a lot of fairies and mermaids and just a lot of really cool things There's the design in the book if you wanted to get a look. So this is now fully available on the website. I signed all the pre-order copies this morning, so those are shipping out as soon as possible, as soon as they get packaged. So those are on their way, and you can order this just from Softflex Company still for the next 5 days before it launches onto Amazon as well. But for right now, you can order it right from www.softflexcompany.com. And I'm so happy with how it turned out. Here's the back. You haven't seen the back yet, and it's really pretty. So Kristen and I are going to try to do a video when I'm in Arizona this coming weekend, because you know she still lives in Mesa, Arizona. So we're going to try to do a video this weekend, giving you a little bit more of an in-depth look at the book, and either this weekend or Monday morning. I think Sunday, we were talking about Sunday evening. So be on the lookout for that. So let's flip over and let's go open our package and see what Cynthia sent us. I'm going to just flip you guys down here. Okay, here we go. So here's my package from Cynthia. And as you know, if you've never seen a design challenge package before, I am going to open this. I have no idea what's in it, and then we're going to make something, hopefully, if all goes to plan, using what's inside it. But this is a great time to talk about Green Girl Studios' website. You can go to their website to order, greengirlstudios.com. You can also find a lot of Green Girl Studios products on some of the major websites like Fusion Beads, Art Beads, Beadaholic, I'm sure. So just if you do a Google search, I'm sure you can come up with a bunch of other options. We don't sell Green Girl Studios pieces. I just use them in my personal work. So don't look for them on the Softflex website, but you can get it from them directly, or a lot of those big retailers do carry their products. Okay, let's see what we got here. How's everybody doing out there? Hey, Gabriella, Rochelle, I missed you too. Hi, Cindy. She says, I'm back. Did you go away, Cindy? Did you lose connection? Oh, another thing I should mention about Cynthia is she's not just a bead making artist. She is a full-blown artist. If you follow her blog, which you can also find on their website, greengirlstudios.com, you will see that she's always working in a multitude of different mediums, and one of them is drawing. So I'm going to guess, yeah, that she drew this. Cynthia Thornton, 2017. Which looks like it's called the Beading Badger. It looks like a little trading card. Isn't that beautiful? She's very, very talented, as is her husband and her whole family. We talked to Allegory Gallery a few weeks back. Do you guys remember that? Andrew Thornton is her brother. And I know that they have one other sister that is very talented as well with fine art. Hello, Sarah. Hope you're doing well. I've included some new pieces, the floral links and faceted items, and some favorites. Have a wonderful day, Cynthia. Okay, so let's open it up and see what we got in here. I think most of the stuff that they do, most of what this is probably is pewter. They kind of specialize in that, but they do a lot. They do some other metals as well. But this looks like it's all pewter. Okay, look at the cool stuff we got here. Ooh, I like this guy. I haven't seen this before. This is like a modern connector, and it's faceted. It's almost like a druzy, but made out of pewter. That's kind of cool. And then the back is flat with the Green Girl Studios logo. That's really neat. And let's see, we've got a birdie bead. On the side it says family. It shows a little nest, and then it says home. Beautiful flower connector. Can totally see that on my wrist. I even wore in my wedding jewelry, I used Green Girl Studios toggles on my necklace and my bracelet. They have these really pretty toggles that you can buy. Here's a button. It's like a little snake button. It's like a button shank on the back. See, Rochelle says, I met Cynthia's husband at a local beach show several years ago. I wonder how his comics career is going. I don't know how it's going, but I do think he just published a children's book not too long ago, if I remember correctly. And maybe one of you can search for that and link to it. I don't know if Kristen's out there yet today, but I would just search Greg Ogden and children's book and see what comes up. There's a little flower pendant. Cute. And we got a faceted bead. I'd love to know more about how she's doing these cool facets. Here's the bird. And it has a hole running through the top to the bottom. And we got another flower connector. This one's a pretty rose. You could almost connect all three of these flowers together and that would be so pretty. Look at the sunflowers, so pretty. Like, couldn't you see those being connected together with some beads, obviously, to color it up a little bit? We got a heart button with a bead or button shank on the back, which works really well as a pendant. Oh, and look at the cool house. Look at the detail she puts into this, you guys. Like, they make a master copy and then they replicate it, but she makes this master look for these things, and they're just so stunning. So the hole runs from top to bottom in this guy. And again, if you're interested in learning more, oh, there's Kristen. Hey, Kristen, will you look up Greg Ogden's children's book and post a link to it if you get a chance, so that people can see Greg's book? I'm pretty sure it's out now. I don't think they just talked about it, so I think it's out. At any rate, she just puts so much detail into her work. I just am always so thrilled to be able to work with stuff from her. Okay, so I'm really being called by these guys. I really like this guy a lot too, which could look really cool with this. And then something dangling from it even. I don't know, that's a little too feminine. That might go up here. Snake. I don't like any of that. Okay, so let's start with this since this is kind of working out. And I need to figure out what beads I'm going to use. So I am in my office at Softlex, and now I have all my stuff from my home office here, but this is my first day back. So I don't have it organized whatsoever. But you know me, I'll make it work one way or another. I'll find something in here that works for us today. I feel like I want kind of a larger crystal to go with that. So let me see. I have my Swarovskis over here. Let's see. I'm going to start opening up this box to see what I can find in here. So one day, a long time ago, Swarovski sent me this huge box of beads. Huge, I mean huge, right? Let me show you actually, so you can see what I'm opening. Let me make sure my address, yeah, my address, oh, it's my old address anyway. This is my box. They sent me this whole box, and there were some catalogs in it too, but it was a lot of beads. I'm still using them, but imagine if you were to open up a box like this and realize they were all beads. It was like Christmas times 5,000. And I taped it up really well, apparently. What we can find in here. And there will be a little bit of noise outside too. We're having a little bit of building maintenance being done. Yeah, so I have like a ton of these things too. Have you ever seen these? Every year when they come out with something new, they send boxes out with all the different new materials. I'm trying to see what year this was. This was 2012, 2013, so that's a while ago. I have all of those in here too. Let's see what we can find. Here's the 2000 spring summer 2016. Had some cool items. Look at that Buddha guy. Isn't that amazing? I don't think he has any holes though, so it's more for if you have a way to attach him to something. This was kind of cool too. It's made out of crystal. Isn't that amazing? Okie dokie, so this is not what I'm looking for, but I'm going to keep showing you. Rochelle says, a friend of mine has sent me 2 boxes full of beads and findings. Oh my gosh, Rochelle. It's exciting, but it's also a little overwhelming when you get a big box of beads. Okay, so let's find something that makes sense size-wise. These are 4mm. We want these squares are kind of cool. Not for this particular design, but just to square crystals. Not really for this particular design, but they are cool. Anya says the sparkling Buddha is amazing. I know, it is amazing. Oh, these are always cool too. I sent some of these out in the VIB packages. I should use them for something at some point. Maybe I can throw that into this design here, some way, shape, or form. They make these like squares that are so awesome. We'll just pull a couple of these out just in case. Just in case the mood strikes us. Ooh, Nile, how are you, buddy? I feel like I haven't talked to you in like 1,000 years. Oh my gosh, look at how big these are. Look at these, you guys. 18mm. Isn't that crazy how big those are? Like, they're bigger than these big charms. Although that could make kind of a cool necklace. I'm not sure I'm digging the color though. We'll get a couple of those out just in case we change our mind. Here we go. Oh. You guys still seeing me? Video thing going. Oh, did you guys lose me or you got all there still? This was more like the size I was looking for. Oh, Wiley, did you lose me, but you're back? There we go. You left briefly. Yeah, my screen went a little wonky. Okay, so here's some smaller guys. I'm not sure I'm getting all these browns. I feel like I need more of a happy color. So I'm going to keep digging till I find a happier color. Oh, Nile. I was hearing that one of my coworkers upstairs has been having troubles with Internet Explorer and Facebook Live videos. I don't know if that's the case or not for you, if that's what you were trying to use. But I know that's been kind of an ongoing issue for her. Ooh, I kind of like this silver shade. It's really pretty. Even though it's not bright and colorful, I think it would be kind of pretty with these guys. Maybe we can use some colored wire to add in the color and use these guys as the sparkle. See how that goes. I'm just gonna throw a couple in between each one. Thanks, Nile. Nile says, I'm excited for A, the new book, and B, the magic you're about to do. So Nile was a huge support in doing the book because he was our guinea pig for doing Create Space First. And he really helped us navigate the waters of figuring it out so nicely. Here's some bigger ones of this color we can play with too. And Nile also contributed a project to the book and the foreword. So we are forever grateful to him and his help. Cindy says, I'm voting for red, in the mood for winter. Red. Ooh, these are pretty too. This is one of my favorite shapes. Look at how cool this shape is, you guys. So the hole is running left to right. Oops. You'll have to forgive my owie on the top of my finger from moving. Now it's running top to bottom, but it looks like sort of an organic rock. So we'll pull a couple of those out too. Yeah, I think, Sue, I'm going to add color in, but I'm going to use the wire for the color. Is what I'm going to do. And I don't know about red so much, but I could do... I'm just pulling a bunch of beads out so we can kind of play around with it, mess around. I do have this pretty garnet that I can use with it. I also have our pretty purple. I have tanzanite. These are all the colors that I have on hand right now. So I know you guys don't know what I'm making yet, and I don't even know what I'm making yet, but why don't you tell me which color you think I should work with when it comes to these flower pieces, and then some of the silver shade crystals. So at the top here, we've got chrysoprase, then we've got turquoise, fluorite, we've got some pink tourmaline, garnet, purple amethyst, and our blue tanzanite there at the bottom. So tell me what color you think I should work in, or mixture of colors. And I'll just take kind of an eye. Love the first three colors. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to think, since these are flowers, having like a little bit of greenery in between kind of makes sense. Rochelle, turquoise always works. Yes, I do tend to love the turquoise, but it'd be nice to do something a little bit different. Garnet, fluorite, chrysoprase, and garnet together. Pink, purple. Wow, you guys are covering the whole gambit here. Not helping me decide. I do really like the garnet. These are pretty together. The purple and the chrysoprase always works too. Yeah, that's sort of a lime green. Lime green and purple is pretty. Let's see, Kim said you put 4 colors of Softlex beading wire into my BIB box. Beautiful. I had no idea how good they would look. Top of the line. Thanks, Kim. I'm glad you like it. That's nice to hear. Even these 2 colors together are so rich, really pretty. The green and the garnet. This one, these 2. This is definitely a Christmassy vibe right here. Let's try it. I have never used these 2 colors together, so why don't we give it a whirl and see what happens? So I guess the next question would be, what are we going to do with them? So I'm thinking about attaching more than one wire to each one of these. So trying to think, where do the holes lie? Okay, so the holes run through the center, but it's a little off-centered on these guys. I feel like we could maybe do 2 garnets and a green, and maybe just do like a little braid and have the beads in the center and then braid and then connect. So let's just try it. Let's see what happens. You never know until you try it, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna cut off a piece of wire here that's not too long, maybe like 6 inches. And do the same on the chrysoprase. I wonder if I should do 2 chrysoprase and 1 garnet so it's not overwhelming. Let's see, we can try it both ways if we need to. Figure out what's gonna work for us, or if we want one solid color more than we want 2 colors together. Okay, so I've got 3 strands here. In order to connect that, I'm gonna pick a big Mighty crimp, which looks like this. This is a 3x3 crimp. That's what I use when I'm doing multiple strands of wire. To compare it to your 2x2 crimp, which is kind of the more standard size of crimp that we use, you can see it's quite a bit bigger. It's not only longer but wider by 1 millimeter. So it's substantially different in size. Sue says use 1 color with 3 beads as the dangle, other one a necklace color. Okay. Karen says garden vibe to match the flowers. Yeah, it is a nice garden vibe. Okay, so I need my Mighty crimpers, which I have over here. So the Mighty crimpers are just like the regular crimpers, but they have a bigger tooth and rounder. So you can get kind of a good view here where you can see this tooth and the rounder is just substantially larger, so it can handle the bigger sized crimp bead. Hey Wiley, thank you. I'm glad to be back too. I'm going to put all 3 of my wires through my crimp tube and attach it. I have a feeling I'm going to prefer just 1 color, but I'm willing to try this and see. Usually when I'm going through, I like to do 1 at a time. That way I can just kind of keep them a little more straight and they're not going to excuse me guys, I should probably take a drink of water. I'm right at the tail end of my cold now. My, like 3rd cold of the year. So I've added my connection. I'm going to go ahead and get a drink of water so I don't cough your ear off. And I am not the best day for building maintenance, but we'll deal with it. I don't know how much noise you guys are getting on your end. Okay, so I am going to crimp this with the crimper first, which creates a nice big deep divot in my crimp tube. And then I'm gonna go ahead and move that into the rounder up here at the top. And I'm gonna compress again to round it in. And then I'll go around it several times, tightening it down. So the goal is to tighten it down into the nylon coating of the wire so it's all nice and tight. And then I'm going to take my cutters using the flat side toward the crimp tube to go ahead and trim right off at the crimp tube. So I'm not thinking I'm going to do a big deep braid here. I think I'm just going to do like a couple passes. So we all know how to braid, I imagine. You're taking the far left over the middle, the far right over the middle, the far left over the middle, the far right over the middle. So I'm just doing a couple of passes like this, and then I'll go ahead and string my beads onto all 3 wires. Now, I've never done this before, so I don't know how this is going to lay or if it's going to work, but we're just going to test it out and kind of see what we think. If we like it, great. If we don't, we start over. That's the fun of creating. So I'm just getting my beads in place here. And I think I probably want to, trying to think if I want to braid it or if I just want to let them kind of sit together in a bundle. Let's get the 3rd bead on and then we can kind of look at what we got here and how we feel about the wire colors too. So this is what it looks like in a bundle. I'm not like really thrilled. I don't know, it's maybe the color, like I think I want all 3 colors to be the same color. What are you guys thinking about this? I'm feeling like it's a little too busy, and I don't particularly like that. Let me braid a little bit further just so we can get a better idea of like what's gonna happen on the other side. If that's even possible. Here we go. It'd be much easier if I had my macrame board out, but again, everything's still kind of packed up. Hopefully I will be settled in the next week or so. Neela says, yes, there's a lot going on. Yeah, I think a single color would be cool, but I don't know that I'm like really in love with this. I don't feel like I'm really in love with this. It feels a little forced. So let's start again. Okay, so let's stick to one color. I'm gonna go with the darker color just because everything else is so light. I think I'm gonna work with just the garnet. I feel like, I mean, I could do just like a simple connection here for sure, but that seems like a little boring to me with just one single bead. I was hoping to do like something a little bit more exciting. So let's try it again with 3, but with no braiding and with one single color and just see what it looks like. Again, you never know until you get in the middle of it and you're doing it, how something's gonna turn out here. I really love this garnet color. It's so pretty. Have any of you guys out there tried the garnet? I also really like spinel, which is in kind of the same color family. It's really pretty too. Okay, so again, I'm gonna use my big 3x3 crimp tube, and I am going to go, I'm gonna do one wire at a time again, just to keep everything kind of straight and cleaned out. And we'll put our last wire through. I often find myself doing things in 3s or 5s or 7s. So I'm doing 3s this time. I think I'll like this better. There are crimp covers for this size crimp as well. You would use a 4mm crimp cover with a 3x3 crimp tube, which will make it look like a bead. I don't always mind it as a tube myself, but I know that some people don't really like to see the crimp. Nile, do you have any videos coming up? I've been so out of the loop since I've been both sick and moving. I feel like I am not on top of what's going on in the world. So I'd love to hear if you have some videos that are coming up. I did have some videos that I did with Beataholic, or Beataholic is how they say it, go onto YouTube, and I just posted those here on Facebook if any of you guys are interested. There's one about Kumihimo, and then there's one about Soflex in general, and then there was a pair of earrings that I did in their studios, which was super fun. I'm feeling a lot better about just the one color. I feel like that is a lot more easy to handle. Oh, Beads and Bubbles tonight at 7 p.m. Oh, that's good. So 7 p.m. Eastern is 4 p.m. my time, which is when I drive home, Nile. You need to work on your timing because I feel like I'm always driving when you're doing a video. So I'm going to connect to this other side to the next flower over here. Yeah, it does look much better, doesn't it? It just feels like it makes a lot more sense. Okay, so let me grab another crimp tube. What's Rosa doing in here?
Hi, everybody.
Rosa's getting stuff for Mike. I see.
Yeah, I'm getting this too.
Okay. So Rosa says hi, everybody. Okay, so I am going to attach to this next flower. And again, I am going to run each wire through, let's see, separately. Speaking of Mike and Rosa, we do have a gallery sale coming up in 2 weeks. We were just talking about it today. Not Rosa, but Mike and I. This is, brand new news to Rosa. But we're going to do another personal collection sale. So that'll be 1 p.m. on Wednesday. I think it's September 13th. Not too far away from Mike's birthday. So it'd be a good way to wish him a happy birthday, to take a look at some of his special beads and see if there's something you want to add to your stash. Okay, dokie. Okay, so I've gotten each of my wires through. I'm going to check and make sure that, my link inside this connector is similar to my link inside this connector. So it looks like it makes a lot of sense. Sharon says, hi, Sarah. I hope your move went well. I'm here. I made it through it, but boy, it was really trying, I have to admit. My husband had to go to the ER the day that we were packing up the moving van. He's fine, so no worries. He just had an infection. And then we were so fortunate. We had a lot of family and friends help us that day to still get things done. But then I caught a really terrible cold, one of the worst colds I think I've ever had, probably from the stress of everything. So that laid us up for another day. We ended up leaving a little later than we had anticipated, but it all worked out okay. So we're all on the mend here. So thank you for asking, but it was definitely trying. Rochelle says, oh cool, another Mike's Treasures sale. Yeah, there will be a lot of good stuff. I haven't gotten to choose stuff yet, but I've been eyeing some things that he has that I know you guys are gonna love for sure. So I'm feeling like this could be a bracelet, but it could also make a really nice necklace. So I'm gonna have to play around with that too, deciding what it exactly is gonna end up being. Yeah, I like it too. I think let's connect to the next one, and then I feel like it's meant to be a bracelet, like it just lays really nicely for a bracelet. I do feel like these need some crimp covers or something, so I'll have to think about that. They're just awfully shiny with the pewter, so they need something to take away some of that shininess. Maybe even a patina paint. I could see that being super cool to add a little bit of extra color, like a turquoise patina paint would be neat. Yes, and I might even have that here, but I don't know where. I don't know where. I don't know where anything is in here. I might have to do that off camera. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna just pull out some more garnet so we can connect to this next one. Kind of in a similar fashion, then we can kind of decide like how we're gonna, oh my Lord, how we're gonna finish it all off here. Okay, so let's get my pieces back together. Oh, I'm a mess, you guys, but you guys all know that already. Most of you watch me regularly and you know I'm a big mess. Okay, so I've got my 3 wires. I'm gonna go back into my crimp tube. Up. And again, if you like these pewter pieces, you can check out greengirlsstudios.com to find out more about them. And let's see, I'm gonna loosen this up a little bit, and I need to plug you guys in just in case. Okay, so I am gonna do the same crimping as before with the Mighty Crimpers and a 3x3 crimp. For those of you who have just joined us, I'm using the tooth to make the big divot, and then I'm rounding it all out, tightening it down into that nylon coating of the Softflex wire. And if you're not familiar with Softflex, it is a marine quality stainless steel beading wire. The color is actually right in the nylon coating. It comes in lots of different colors, 25, I believe, in the 019 medium. Most of them are very gemstone friendly colors, like this beautiful garnet that I'm using, which Nile pointed out is great for fall. We also have a really pretty citrine that I love in the fall, and an imperial topaz that's really nice too. So lots of fall options, but lots of options for the rest of the year too. Cindy says, copy crocheting, watching Sarah do the magic thing with the surprise package. What a terrific afternoon. Oh, thanks, Cindy. I'm glad you're here. I really appreciate that. I have been definitely missing beading because that is not what I've been doing this last month. The month of August just flew by and I did very little beading because I was just so busy. So I'm looking forward to settling back in and having the opportunity to like really bead again and work on some projects and things. So I'm going to look at the 2 bundles. They don't have to look identical, but I want them to be pretty similar. You know, you don't want one to be really long and one to be really short because it's all one design piece. So I feel pretty good about that. I'm going to pass all 3 wires through my next connector here. This beautiful flower piece. And then I'm going to take each wire back into the crimp tube again, 1 wire at a time, so that I can see how they're stacking up next to each other. Okay, and this is where I really want to kind of eye it out to make sure I'm getting a pretty good comparison from left to right, that they're looking pretty similar. I think I want to move that up just a little bit. And I'm just going to fidget with it till I feel good about it. I'm going to look not only at this and this, but I'm going to look at the connections to make sure I feel good about those. Because once you crimp, like, that's it. You can't really go back. You can't change it or make it any different. So I also haven't said this, but I have been making sure when I crimp with the fold that I put the fold either on the side or in the back, usually on the side, because I just like how it splits the wires a little bit. I think it helps keep a nice straight connection with these big crimps, but that'll help make it look really nice too. Jean says, we've all been there. It's just wonderful to be part of the community of artists. You, Nile, Candy, Katie Hacker, Judy Menting. Yes, I agree. And I feel very flattered that you would include me with all those wonderful artists that you mentioned. It was really fun. Did you guys get to watch the video where I was at Halstead 2 weeks ago with Katie? I got to spend the day there with her, and that was really fun. We enjoyed spending some time together, and you know, she's very familiar with the competitor's product, but not Soft Flex. So I think it was interesting for her to get a chance to play around with our wire and kind of see what it's all about, since she's never really used it before. And now that she works for Halstead, it's kind of a different deal. Okay, so I'm liking where this is going. I like the sparkle. I like the garnet color. I feel like I can do a simple connection on both sides now, maybe with just 1 bead. And then maybe even dangle this little guy off the clasp. Let me see if I can find like a simple clasp here in my bag of magic tricks. That I keep in my accessible bin. You know, my bag of junk, otherwise known as my bag of junk. Couldn't live without it. Okay, I'm thinking I might trim the toggle off of this. It's a little shinier. I feel like a tiara cast toggle would be like really amazing right now, wouldn't it? Let me see if I have any of those over here. I doubt that I do, but just in case. I promise to untape all of my stuff before I do another design challenge. Okay, you guys? That is my promise to you. I will make all of my stuff accessible for next time. I don't know if I have any tiara cast toggles in here, but I want to take a look. Because the metals just match so nicely. It would be ideal, but probably not. Oh, I see one. And it's from the Dolce Vita collection, which means it's Perfect for flowers. What do we think about this guy? I like it. I like it. I like it. And then if I patina paint the crimps, I could probably patina paint this, couldn't I? Oh boy. Now I'm going down a whole rabbit hole. Okay, so let's attach this with a single crystal. I think that'll be the right length where we're at right now. I think that'll work. So I'm just going to use a regular sized crimp tube this time, a 2x2 millimeter crimp tube. I'm using Softflex tubes. Both the 2x2 and the 3x3 were Softflex crimp tubes. And know the fun of finding things with you. Let's see. Rochelle says yes to patina paint. Yes, I know. I think that would be really fun. I think that would be really fun. And I could do some fun fall colors to match this pretty garnet. Okay, so same thing goes with the little crimps as with the bigger ones. I'm going to go ahead and use regular crimpers on this just to stay true to what happened over here. I'm going to use the regular crimping pliers to compress this tube too. And they work just like the Mighties did. I have a tooth that's going to compress down to create a little divot in my crimp tube. I'm going to spin it on its side into the rounder, and I'm going to compress again. And I like to always go around my crimps, like just tightening them down, rounding them out. I can go ahead and cut my wire off and string my beautiful crystal. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side, but this time I'll attach my clasp. Attach my clasp. Go. And I want to be true to both sides, so I'm looking at the loop size to make sure that they're pretty similar in size. They are. I'm going to go ahead and compress and round and go around it a couple times again. That crimp is just such an important part of your design. It's so important that you compress several times, but don't use too much pressure on it. So this is where we're at. So far, I've added my toggle, and now on this other side, I'll go ahead and let me make sure it's not getting too long. Oh no, it's gonna be like a perfect size. I can go ahead and add my, Cindy says red paint. Yeah, I could see red being very good. I could also see like some of these colors, like the browns with a little bit of that garnet color, a little bit of yellow even. Could be really pretty. I'm gonna have to figure out where my patina paints are. This is the big step, but I definitely think that this would be really cool with a little bit of paint. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side in order to attach my toggle bar. And I'll do a quick once around just to see if I do happen to have any patina paint that's accessible. I don't think I do. I think it's boxed, but I'm going to look and see what I can find, because I was using it in my classes this summer, so it might still be kind of available. We use the patina paints on a few things in Seed Bead Revolution, So that was really fun for me because it's a new process. Ever since I did that vintage live design challenge, I've been excited about the patina paints for sure. Okay, and I'm going to Rochelle says, you can include some of those faceted rondelles in my VIP package. Same color and finish. Love them. Oh, Rochelle, your VIP package was packaged so long ago. They've just been sitting and waiting for the books to be signed. So otherwise, I would love to. And you never know, maybe I did. I can't even remember what I put in. Everybody's package was so unique, and I just, picked it based on what you told me in the notes. So hopefully you love it when you get it. You guys have all been so patient with me this month. I know everything ran a little later than it was expected, but thankfully those pre-order books are going out the door. Okay, so I'm going to clip off my wire, and I now have a bracelet. Let's see how it fits. Oh, a little on the tight side. I probably could have loosened up a little bit, but not bad. I like that it's not going to flip around. And then I love the idea of adding some patina paint on the clasp and then the flowers, and then even doing, one solid color on each of the crimps. That could just take this whole design to the next level. So let me look and see if there's any way I can find some of that. The box I was hoping it was in. So it probably did get boxed up, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to do that off camera. But I will post a picture as soon as I get an opportunity and I can find them, and I will add some pretty color to this to make it extra special. I really like how that's looking. Anya says, I love it. Stacy says, oh no, just me or anyone else lost the video. Oh, Stacy, I'm sorry. Maureen's running a little late. That's okay, Maureen. Thank you. We lost our food, 7 bags of food in the trash, no power. Oh, Bonnie, are you in the Houston area? I hope not. That's hard. So let's start. I really love this house. I would like to use that, and I kind of like the idea of like this crystal with this house, just kind of calling my name. Or this big brown one even is kind of cool. I really love these crystals. I think they're so pretty. So I wouldn't mind using these for something. Let's see. What to do? Anne says, I've never used patina paints. Does Softlick sell this? They do not sell patina paints. I usually have found them on Amazon. However, you can get them from a lot of the big beading retailers like Fusion Beads and Art Beads. But they're just like a metal paint that you can paint onto the surface of a metal, and you can kind of brush it off before it dries, or you can use a reliefing block to brush it, and it'll take off the top surface and let the paint sort of fill in the underside. So it just adds so much to a design. I have an example. Let me grab my book. Here's one example in the book you can see. So I took the patina paint and painted these tier cast pieces with sort of a red jasper color, and then I brushed it over the top, and so it takes away all that top area, but it makes the the lining or the underside a really pretty color. Can add a lot of depth that way. I think I used it on one other project in the book. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so if you take something like this, like a little dragonfly, I added the paint to the wings, and then you just brush it. Really pretty. That's in my new book here. Okay, so I'm going to do one last little guy. Nothing too fancy. We'll just do something kind of simple here since I'm running short on time. I'm going to stay with this garnet color because I think it's so pretty. Excuse me. And I'm just going to do a simple long necklace like I've been doing over and over lately because I love them. They're just so, I really like long necklaces right now. So I've got my soft flax and my garnet. I'm gonna string this cute little dangle to the center. Let me bring my chair back up here again. To the center of the one wire. So I'm doubling it over. And then I'll take both. Actually, I think I might run it through a crystal first. I'm gonna do one of the big crystals. Let's see what it looks like. I love these like odd shaped crystal guys. Maybe that's how I can get this in here. So it's just sitting sort of like it's like a house on a crystal rock now, which is kind of cute. It almost looks like a cloud, doesn't it? I like it. And then I'll just take, I don't know how these crystals will sit next to each other because they're so big. Let's see if I do a little one. Yeah, even those are gonna sit kind of funny unless I do something up higher. So I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and crimp because I want to keep this in place where it's at. So it's a kind of a big hole. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to do a 2x2 crimp, but I'm going to try to use one of the big crimp covers on it. I've never tried that before, but I think that might work okay. So I don't want my crimp to fall inside there. So look at how big this hole is, you guys. It's like a pretty big sized hole. Cindy says the clasp choice was right on. Oh, thanks, Cindy. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I've got the right length for my dangle down here. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna grab my pliers and I'm just gonna use these regular guys again since I have them out and get down towards my house where I want it to crimp. And then I'll just press. And I'm going to take one of these big 4mm crimp covers. Hopefully I have one here. Why don't I see any? Oh, there they are. So to give you a size comparison like I did with the 3x3 crimps, this is a 3mm crimp. This is a 4mm crimp cover. So they're quite a bit bigger. But they're great if you've got like a really big hole like this. I'm not sure how it's going to clasp down on the crimp. That's the part that I'm not too sure about since I haven't done this before with this size of a crimp. I'm just going to grab it with my rounder and my crimping plier. Sometimes I use my chain nose pliers, but I've grown pretty fond of actually using my rounder over time. My crimping pliers are almost always handy, so that's always nice. So I just closed it down on top of that crimp. The trick with crimp covers is they always want to kind of spin. So if this is your crimp cover, it kind of instead of coming together like this, it like kind of does this. So you want to go slow, and you want to just gently, and if you see it twisting, you change your plier to twist it back so that it goes in the right direction. Okay, so I'm just gonna tuck this in a little bit. I'm gonna pull on it because I want to see that it's not gonna come slide up over the top of my 2x2 crimp, and it doesn't look like that's a problem at all. Cute. This might be cute without almost anything else, you guys. I mean, it's pretty simple, but it's pretty sweet too. Here, let's see what it looks like. I'll flip down. Let me flip you here. You can kind of see how that's looking. I love it. Look at that little house. It's so cute. So I might add a couple more sparkles to it, but I think it looks pretty dang cute just like this. That's kind of the fun thing when you work with really nice artist materials. It's like you don't need a lot because they just look so cool by themselves. You don't really need much to add to it. But maybe I'll think about a few more things here if I want to add some crystals up the top here. So this was great. This was fun to look at some of Cynthia's new things from Green Girl Studios. And again, it's my fault, I think, that she's not here because I didn't send her a reminder sooner. I sent it just this morning. So we probably missed out on a good opportunity to talk to her, but hopefully she'll do a design challenge with us again in the future, and we'll get a chance to talk to her a little bit more about her business and, you know, how they got started and, you know, what their plans are in the future and whatnot. So I have a couple things I wanted to touch on before I leave. First and foremost, I'll be doing a video tomorrow. We're going to be doing some treasure trove packages. I'm not going to show you really what's in them. It's going to be sort of a surprise, but everybody will get the same package. They're limited items. There's 39 of them. And I'll talk about it tomorrow in a live video, you know, that's just about those. But I wanted to give you a heads up that I'll be doing something separate because I want to make sure you guys get a chance to check them out. So definitely check me out tomorrow. It'll probably be about the same time, 1 o'clock, to talk about those. And check out the Beataholic videos that just went up on our Facebook page. You can check them out on YouTube as well, on their YouTube channel. And next week, I'll be doing a design challenge with Humble Beads, which if you're not familiar with them, they have some amazing things. Heather Powers is very talented, so I'm looking forward to sharing some of her work with you. And then, of course, September 13th, we're doing a live sale with Mike's materials, so that's going to be a fun day too. So I appreciate you guys all checking me out today, and I hope you had fun looking at some of the Green Girl Studios items. Wish me luck as I keep unpacking, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow for just a short video, and then next week, of course. So nice to see you. Let's see. Christine says, "Hi, Sarah. I guess I need to watch the repost." Yeah, we're just ending. We made a really fun bracelet. Boop. And necklace. Cute little necklace with some Green Girl Studios pieces. Bonnie says, "I love the bracelet." Oh, there's a good luck. I need it. I really need some good luck. Okay. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.